Oh, there it is. We are live, Lions fans. Listen, the season must go on, and my son and I are here as we will be, still back in our Lions. It still was a hard loss almost 2 weeks ago, but the season goes on, and we will just keep pushing on. And today we are doing a show. I came across an article about 2 days ago. ESPN did a redraft. Now you know they do these. Somebody does these a couple times a year where they would redraft a draft to see where the picks will go if they redid it now. So we thought it would be a good idea to look at our Lions and look at where they had our boys drafting at if they redraft it now. So let's just get into it. Sorry, wrong one. All right, sorry about that. We are also live on YouTube and Twitter X if you're over there. Let's get into this, son. Redrafting the 2023 draft. There are a lot of teams to look at, but of course, we're going to be looking at our Lions. So, that this draft redrafted different because if you look at the first two picks, no surprise, they have the Carolina Panthers instead of taking Bryce Young, they have them taking CJ Stroud. And in the second pick, they had the Texans taking Anthony Richardson. So, that the draft was a downward spiral from here, son. So, our first pick was the sixth pick. And as you remember, we traded down to 12, correct?
Right.
Yeah, okay, it says right there. So this is how I would redraft. The original pick here, when we traded Arizona, they took Paris Johnson, the offensive lineman out of Ohio State. The new pick is Jahmyr Gibbs. So they still have us getting Jahmyr Gibbs. Just a little something they said right here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I agree with that. So they have us staying at 6 and taking Jahmyr Gibbs. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. They kind of summed it up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, I'm not even going to say that that's high to take a running back. I mean, for how he did, and obviously since the redraft, it's going into if they knew exactly how good these guys would be, right?
That's what they're saying, yes.
So then, yeah, I mean, I would have to say that you might as well have taken him with the sixth pick because you could argue, or really, it's not much of an argument. We know that the offense wouldn't be where it was if he wasn't here. So just because Montgomery wasn't a pick, but the thunder and lightning of him and Montgomery added quite a bit to to our running game, and I think that's something. And it was kind of proven that DeAndre Swift probably wouldn't have been able to do. Basically, he's kind of what we wanted DeAndre Swift to be and more. So
correct.
Hopefully, he can keep that going. So no, taking him with the sixth pick. Looking back, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean,
right.
There's not really many other people that you could say that they should take other than a cornerback with that sixth pick, because Will Anderson would already been gone still.
Yes, and it would make sense that if they did a redraft, that they would definitely take Gibbs here, really due to the fact that you couldn't trust that he would be there because if you redid it, that means there's also other teams who would have said, hey, that rookie that played for the Lions was pretty good. Let's go ahead and get our claws in him and take him off the board. So I have absolutely no issue there at all. And as you said, who knows if they'd have, brought Swift back or not taking Gibbs, if he would have had that type of a season. So I think that, as it said right there in the article, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, let's move to our next pick, which would have been pick 18. And with that pick, we took Jack Campbell, and he was, let me see. Here we go. So the original pick was Jack Campbell, who we took, but the new pick is Joey Porter Jr., the cornerback out of Penn State, who the Steelers took. It says the Lions secondary was one of the team's biggest issues in 2023, often giving up big yardage against elite receivers. So they have us taking Joey Porter Jr. What would be your thoughts on taking Joey Porter Jr.? If we would have took him with that pick?
Yeah, no, I would have been all for it, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't matter what we talked about last year when we talked about the draft, but I mean, I wanted them to take a cornerback with one of those picks, and they didn't do it. I guess you could say it worked out for the most part And I'm not saying Jack Campbell wasn't pretty good, but let's be honest, Joey Porter would have been. It's no, actually, no, it's no debate. Joey Porter would have been a more impactful pick than what we had with Jack Campbell. But we'll get into what we technically would have lost more than just Jack Campbell if I'm right for how we talked about this before. But no, you can't. If we're saying that's tough because we got those extra picks. Did we get those extra picks from the sixth pick that we traded or from?
No, we already had 18.
Oh,
So this is what it was. The sixth pick was the Rams pick. The 18th pick was our pick. So that's why we had the sixth pick. Then that pick we traded down to 12. And if I may be mistaken, but I think traded down to 12. That's how we got the other second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Because
so
we had two second round.
it had nothing to do with the 18th pick though.
No.
Yeah, so I definitely would have taken Joey Porter. Yeah, just because we already have enough linebackers. I'm not saying Jack Campbell wasn't good, but he just wasn't on the field as much. And Joey Porter, I hate to say it, but that means Vildor would have never had to have been out there. And, that could have changed the whole season around and everything. I mean, who knows? Joey Porter could have dropped that pick too. But honestly, I highly doubt that CeeDee Lamb has 300 yards and Justin Jefferson. I mean, heck, maybe he still would have went crazy because, Justin Jefferson is probably the best receiver in the league. But no, I think Joey Porter would have made a huge difference. I mean, was he not Defensive Player of the Year candidate?
He was up there for defensive rookie of the year. When you and I did our live draft show, when the Lions got to the second round, that was the name that we said. We said, let our boys should try to get Joey Porter Jr. But he was already gone. The Steelers had, if I'm not mistaken, they had the first pick in the second round, and they took him with that pick. So he wasn't there anyway. But I mean, the point I'm making is that he was somebody that we were looking at and hoping to take, and I do think he could have made a difference. So let's move on to the second round where we had two picks. I believe the first one was pick 48. Let me see, and let me see who. Yes, it was pick 48. The original pick was Cody Much from North Dakota State, offensive lineman. And let me see, it says Tampa Bay traded. Okay, that's why, because Tampa Bay traded. I'm like, wait a minute, we didn't take that guy. Tampa Bay traded up, but this is saying if the Lions would have stayed put, the new pick would have been Ivan Pace Jr. out of Cincinnati. So what would have been your thoughts with us taking a linebacker at that position? Because we wouldn't have got Jack Campbell in the first round. So if we would have stayed put and we would have taken a linebacker at that spot, what would have been your thoughts on that, on this particular linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Ivan Pace Jr., but I can already tell that he looks like he's an athletic linebacker. And to be honest, like I said, I'm not trying to say that we're right about everything, but we kind of already said that they should take a linebacker in the later rounds. I remember our linebacker pick was between the second and third round anyways. And I get it, it's a redraft, so it's like, well, yeah, it makes this look more obvious. But no, I mean, no, like I agree. I for the impact that Jack Campbell did, you could say that any other decent linebacker could have done that. And like I just want to see his highlights. Yeah, and he did. Yeah, he just looks like a athletic linebacker, and I think he looks like he can play in pass coverage too. So I don't know what his 40 time was, but yeah, I would have agreed with that pick. Well, what do you think?
Yes, because when you and I did our mock draft and then we did our draft recap, even when we were watching the draft live, we were talking about the Lions did need another linebacker. They took Jack Campbell in the first round. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not disappointed with the Jack Campbell pick. I do think that as the season went on, he improved. He caught up with the speed. You can see when the game started to slow down for him. And I think one of the two big reasons why Brad Holmes took Jack Campbell was, number one, his length. He has really long arms, long arm length. He's 6'5". And number two, he's 250 pounds. And one of the issues we had in 2022 was stopping the run. One way that you can stop the run is you get a big linebacker that when he puts his body on a running back or even a tight end, they stop. Not, the Lions had way, way too many arm tackles, and that was one of the reasons why we took Jack Campbell. So I had no issue with the Jack Campbell pick, but this would have been the best linebacker at that time. And to be honest, son, if I'm not mistaken, let's see if it says something about him. I thought that Ivan Pace was undrafted. It says initially the line selected Jack Campbell. So this new selection makes sense. I'm just reading. Yes, it says right there, Pace, who went undrafted last April, was an all rookie. So that tells you something about that kid right there. You know, he was undrafted, and now they have him going in the second round.
Yeah.
So I would say that, you know, this redraft so far, that would have been a pretty decent pick. And then let's move to our last pick, which was pick 55. And let me see. That original pick was Rashee Rice. Okay, and the new pick would be Dante Beyond Wicks.
We got a receiver in the second round.
No. The Chiefs did. The Chiefs traded up. See,
oh, okay.
I don't know if you can see the screen yet. See, what they're doing is they're just putting everybody back where they were.
Oh, okay. I get it. They're just saying the original 55. Yeah, I was like,
right. What? And I apologize. I do not have his highlights, but Dante Beyond Wicks out of Virginia, who actually took him?
Yeah,
I don't even remember where he went, son. But it says the Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams was serving a 6-game suspension to start the season. Detroit was looking to add a pass catcher in the draft. Wicks would have been a solid choice at this point as he ended his rookie season with 39 receptions for 581 yards and 4 touchdowns. Oh, Green Bay. For Green Bay. I didn't even realize this kid played for Green Bay.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, but I guess they're saying that he would have been the best pick at that moment.
Yeah, he originally went in the 5th round.
Oh, he went okay. Well, you know that. I mean, they moved him up. What do you think about us taking a receiver at that point? Because that's the pick where we would have gotten Brian Branch.
Yeah, I kind of can disagree with them for that one because it seemed like he was kind of I'm not saying that's not a decent rookie season, but it seemed like he was just a role player receiver. And to be honest, I don't think that'd be worth it over taking Brian Branch. But are they saying what Brian Branch would have? He went way earlier than what we got him, right?
He did. Actually, real quick before we end, I'm gonna go back and see where our boys missed that. But I just want to look at the end of the second round. Let's see who we maybe could have taken. Carl Brooks, defensive end out of Bowling Green. There's offensive tackle out of Eastern Michigan. There's a tight end, another tight end. Miles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson. There's another receiver. There's a linebacker, an offensive tackle, and that was it. So I was just trying to see who went immediately after that, who we could have taken instead. I mean, I don't know Miles Murphy. I don't know how his season was, but there was a DN that we could have taken in this redraft. There's another DN right there we could have taken, but they had us taking a receiver. Now, to answer your question, let's go back real quick and see where Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, and Jack Campbell actually did go. So, okay, we see there. Pick 10, 11, 12. Okay, they had Sam Laporta going 13 to Green Bay.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, that's another first-round pick. Yeah, another good pick by Brad Holmes. Let's see if we can find Campbell and Branch. There, they had Brian Branch also going in the first round to the Steelers at 17.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, there was some cons I didn't like about Brad Holmes' original draft, but the pros are just too high. I mean, we definitely needed Sam Laporta and we definitely needed Jahmyr Gibbs. So what he did was totally right. I mean, even though I guess you could disagree with the Jack Campbell pick, but that's totally in hindsight, though, to be honest. I mean, I thought they were going to use Jack Campbell more.
And whoever did this redraft, you see right there, they had Jack Campbell going in the first round still. They just had him going to the Cowboys at 26.
Yeah.
So what does that say about our guy, our GM, Brad Holmes? It says that all 4 of our picks, the 2 in the first round and the 2 in the second round, this ESPN guy still had, he had all 4 of our picks going in the first round.
Yeah.
So, so that gives you, faith in Brad Holmes to let you know that Brad Holmes, as they say, Brad Holmes he knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, Brad Holmes knows what he's doing because, I mean, these picks, all were first round picks according to this guy, and two of those we got in the second round. So no issues. Well, Lions fans, we want to stay consistent and do some videos, until the season gets started, when we'll be able to do more videos. Like we said earlier, the season, must go on. Next week, we're going to do a show where we give a grade for all of the positions on our team. Is that correct, son? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. You see our TikTok right there on the screen there. Go over there and follow us. We are live on Twitter X. Give us a like and a follow over there. And we are live on YouTube. Did we forget anything, son?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, that was pretty fun looking at a little redraft. Well, Lions fans, that's all we got. Peace.
Peace.